Senator Heitkamp.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member. It's really quite an honor to be here, and I'm grateful for the invitation and grateful for the opportunity. I want to kind of start out where Maria left off, and I want to assure the senator from Washington that where we may see it differently because we're producing, but you're refining Bakken crude in your state, and we all are concerned about safety. This is not a trade-off of economics versus safety. We have to make the transportation of this material as safe as what is humanly possible on the rails. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Now, Mr. Hart, I want to go back to one of your comments because we have focused a lot on the 111s. And, you know, I'm always amused when people say 40%. I think the more important question that we have is how many of the 111s have been retired? How, you know, if you look at the 111s transporting this material, obviously as you're growing the fleet, which you have to in order to meet the demand of transporting, of course you're going to have a lower percentage of 111s on the rail. But the concern is getting the 111s off, and Mr. Hart, I think following on that track, you also said that you think the 1232s are deficient, if I heard your testimony correctly. And so I want you to reaffirm that, and then I want to hear from both the American Railroad Association and from API on what their reaction is to that, and we can talk about the regulation after that.
Thank you for the question. Yes, I did say that the 1232s are still not adequate. As I mentioned, we're having a tank car forum next month that we'll talk about not only the rail cars, but a variety of other issues that are associated with this, the operations, the emergency response, but we hope that in the PHMSA rulemaking, we hope that will inform that process. I only
have so much time, so I really want to just focus on getting a kind of an immediate reaction to the comment about the 1232s. Yeah.
On behalf of the AAR, we filed comments at PHMSA in the ANPRM recommending that new tank cars be built exceeding the 1232. We are requesting that they require the full height head shields, the jacket, thermal protection, top fitting protection, high capacity pressure relief valve. So we think that the 1232 was a big step above the DOT 111s. Knowing what we do now about some of the volatility of some of the crude moving, we think we need to go even beyond the 1232s.
Interested in API's response.
Yeah, thank you. I think the information that has been that AAR is referring to has not been shared that substantiates the benefit of these improvements. We are, you know, you're starting to get down into a very narrow range of improvement, and you go from a very small number to an even smaller number, and so we would look forward to having those discussions on that. However, I would say that the 1232, again, was studied for 3 years. It actually was studied for 2 years, and then another third year was taken to review how sufficient that performance specification would be.
So this is shaping up as a regulatory fight here, obviously, and it appears that PHMSA and FRA are moving in the direction of the American Railroad Association in terms of recommendations on the tank cars. I think it's doubtful they're going, as she said already, she thinks the 1232s are deficient. That's why they didn't go through the process back when you guys requested their weighing in on improving the tank car. This is very problematic from a public standpoint because the public expects that we're going to make decisions and they're going to be fact-based. Now, we have not had a major derailment that involved the 1232s. We've obviously had major derailments that involved the 111s, and I only have 42 seconds. So I'd like to ask Mr. Searles, how many 111s have been taken off the train?
The 111s continue to be the tank car that was provided by in the regulations.
So we need to be careful when we say, you know, 40% and it's going to be less, because it doesn't mean we've taken these cars off the trains. It just means that we've grown the fleet to the point that their percentage involvement is dwindling. Correct?
The numbers indicate that we are moving in a direction that will bring us to these safer tank cars.
But as of today, there hasn't been any major movement of 111s off the rails.
Not to my knowledge.